Hey guys, Coach Sam coming at you live. It's Monday, February 19th, 2024, and today we're smashing some legs. All right, guys, so to start with, we're going to be starting with leg primer B. So leg primer B, we've got some static stretching, some straddles, some groin stretching, and then we're going to move into some dynamic movement with windmill touches and sliding lunges. So this is really going to help open up your thoracic spine and get your hips feeling nice and loose. And then we're going to move into some isometric holds with single leg wall sits and air squats to get some blood pumping throughout your stems before we start smashing them with our heavy mechanical loading movement, which is going to be our epic back squat, sissy squat superset. So we're going to be going across 5 sets, and you're going to be performing 30 weighted, banded, smooth and fast sissy squats holding a moderate weight kettlebell into 12 tempo back squats with a tempo of 3 seconds down and 3 seconds up. So let's break down the mechanics for this. So for the sissy squat, you have a couple ways you can perform this. You can string a band around an upright, whether it's a power rack or some other upright mechanism. You can loop around the back of your legs and try to maintain that vertical shin angle and sit down and sit up and come up just sort of lockout. We want to put a lot of tension and metabolic stress on your quads during this movement. So try your best to pump those reps out and come to just short of lockout on those 30 reps. And then the alternative ways you can load the sissy squat is if you have access to a sissy squat machine, which is one of the contraptions that holds your feet in place and allows you to sit back and come back up again. You can perform this on a sissy squat machine, or alternatively, if you either don't have access to either of those, or you'd like to try something different, you can do a heels elevated goblet squat as an alternative. Now, once you complete those 30 reps there, you can move into your 12 tempo back squats. So this tempo back squat is not just a tempo on the way down, 3 count down, it's also a tempo on the way up. You know, it's one thing to be able to hold a tempo on the eccentric, but trying to control your muscular contraction on the concentric part is almost arguably more challenging than managing that lower to the eccentric movement. So pay attention to that. You know, you will notice if you try to maintain that tempo on the way up, you're going to start having some oscillation in your muscles because of how fatigue and smash they get from trying to control that movement the entire time. So on this, we're going to give you a full 3-minute rest to recover in between those sets, and then try to build up your back squat weight over those 5 sets. That sissy squat is really going to fatigue your quads, and then we really want to get you, with some heavy loading on that back squat there. All right, after that, we're going to move on to our barbell Romanian deadlifts with our tempos and pauses, which is also the weekly challenge for the week. So with this, we're going to be building up over 4 sets, 12, 10, and then top set of 8 on either set 3 or set 4 there, where we're going to be performing a barbell Romanian deadlift with a 3-second negative and a 1-second pause in the bottom. So in the Romanian deadlift versus a traditional deadlift, we are trying to place a loading on your glutes and your hamstrings, where your lower back, your erectors, and your lats are going to receive some ancillary loading because of the bracing required as you lower the weight. But that isn't the primary muscles we're trying to target. We're trying to target your glutes and your hamstrings. So pay attention to trying to make sure that you're shifting your hips to the back of the room and that you are feeling a good stretch in your hamstrings on the way down. And if you're starting to feel like your back is starting to round a little bit in the way down, that's an okay position for you to stop and return on the way up. Don't feel like you need to go all the way to the floor. Now, conversely, if you find yourself to be hypermobile and you don't feel like you're getting a good stretch in your hamstrings and the plates are starting to restrict you from going down low enough, you can also perform this as a deficit movement by standing on 1 or 2 plates if it's required based on your hamstring flexibility. But again, push your hamstrings to the back of the room, and somewhere around below the knee to mid shin, you should probably feel that, good hamstring stretch to come back up again. All right, guys, now to cash you guys out for metabolic stress work for the day is going to be our Bulgarian split squat death sets. So this is going to be 3 giant drop sets on each leg. And what you're going to do is you're going to take 3 dumbbells or 3 kettlebells. The recommended weights, are listed there. For men, it's 53, 36, and 24. Kettlebells or dumbbells, and then for women it's 36, 24, and 16. And you can prop your non-working leg up on a bench, a box, or a leg roller if you have access to one. And I do recommend that in your for the arm that does not have the dumbbell in it, that you do hold something for stability purposes, such as the upright of a squat rack, if you can make your setup work like that. So you're going to take your first heaviest load, you're going to perform 8 reps, and then you're going to have an 8-second isometric hold at the 90-degree position. As soon as you finish that isometric hold for 8 seconds, drop that weight and go to your medium weight. Perform the same complex, 8 reps with an 8-second hold, drop the weight and immediately pick up your lightest weight and conduct 8 reps with another 8-second hold. Once you've completed that on one leg, switch legs and do it all over again. This is extremely metabolically taxing. You're going to perform this for a total of 3 sets with a 2-minute rest in between. If that wasn't enough for you, we got one more thing to finish out for the day. It's going to be 100 banded hamstring curls and 100 banded glute bridges. So this is really meant to just pump a lot of blood in a short amount of time into your entire backside to really cash you out, and also to help promote some recovery, to pump some fresh blood and nutrients into the areas that you just smashed with some heavy loading over the last 45 minutes or probably an hour for most of us. So you can perform the banded hamstring curls seated or lying. Just make sure that you've got enough tension in the band, so whenever you perform the eccentric portion or the negative portion of the movement, the band isn't completely slacking, that there is still some tension there. So play around with your setup on that. And then for the banded glute bridge, you can hook a band up to the bottom of your power rack if you have some band pegs, or you can use the J-cups as well. Or conversely, there's a way you can put the band underneath your hips, or excuse me, on top of your hips, and then put the bottom of it on your feet. And you can sit on it, so to speak, and then that will alleviate the need for a power rack if you have equipment limitations from that perspective. All right, guys, and then there's some optional grunt work that we have here. It's our front rack carry, banded hip extension, and V-up. So, if you're running short on time, you can add this to the end of the week, but if you've got the time to do it, feel free to do it. I love this little complex here. It's going to be 3 rounds of a 100-foot kettlebell front rack carry with some heavy bells, 70 for men, 53 for women, 53 banded hip or band resisted GHG hip extensions immediately into 30 V-ups, 3 rounds to that. So if you want a little bit of additional grunt work for the day, feel free to hit that. If not, you can move it to your conditioning work, or you can move it to another day of the week. All right, guys. So for our add-ons, we've got our optional CrossFit workout for the day, which is 150 kettlebell swings, our optional grunt work, a little bit of a longer one, 3 rounds of a 200-meter farmer's carry with some heavy bells and a 30-calorie ski. Feel free to sub a different machine if you don't have access to a skier. You can utilize a rower or a echo bike, assault bike, or even a Concept 2 biker. And then for energy system development option for the day, it's a style cardio effort where you will conduct a minute easy, a minute moderate, and a minute hard for your cardio implement of choice: biking, skiing, or running, or some sort of machine. And then we have our optional core work and our optional Thunder Broca. So if you guys are in our 30-day shred, make sure you're doing your weekly check-ins and that you're hitting your fasted cardio or depletion work. Make sure you're posting the weekly challenge on our Thunderbro family Facebook group for a chance to win some free swag. And then, as always, if you guys are on Train Heroic, please hit me up with any questions, comments, or concerns. And if you're on the Beyond the Whiteboard app, reach out to Coach Kenny, and we will get you guys taken care of. All right, guys. Hope you guys have a great leg day.